here, and, well, Yoimiya is out currently at the time I'm recording this video, and she is out with Raiden Shogun. And you guys already know that I already released the Raiden Shogun showcase video. So now it is time to do the Yoimiya showcase video. So of course I am going to be doing the same thing that I did with the Raiden video and structure my showcase the same way as before. So yeah, well, without any further ado, let's just cut to my Yoimiya build. Alright, so here is my Yoimiya build. So, Yoimiya is actually pretty basic to build. She is mainly used as a DPS and nothing more. So she is just a main PYRO DPS, and that's all you need to build her as, because her whole kit is basically deal damage with normals. Yeah, that's literally Yoimiya gameplay right there. So, here are her stats. So, as you see here, she has high attack, high crit rate, crit damage. It's pretty good. ER, she doesn't need ER because she'll use her E most of the time. You'll never use her Q, by the way, if you are using her as a main DPS. You only use her Q if you run her as a sub. But who runs her as a sub when you can run her as a main? So, yeah, she is mainly run as main. And besides, the artifact set tailored to her needs energy. So, you need to have energy on hand anyway in order to activate the set, which I will be talking about soon. As for weapon, I have Thundering Pulse. This is R2, by the way, because I had an extra Thundering Pulse laying around. So yeah, I just R2'd the Thundering Pulse and just gave it to Yoimiya. But this is Yoimiya's best weapon, Thundering Pulse. There is no other weapon you would ever run besides the Rust, which is a free-to-play weapon. But if you do have a 5-star weapon, then the Thundering Pulse is the way to go. If not, then the Rust. You can just run the Rust. The Rust is good on anyone who does normal attacks, so Child and Yoimiya are one of those characters. So, yeah, the Rust or the Thundering Pulse, it's up to you to decide, but I just ran the Thundering Pulse because I have it at hand. And remember when I said that she needs energy in order to, deal most of her damage? This is what I mean, because she runs Shiminawa's Resonance, which is her best set. Her best DPS set, basically. So, if you use your elemental skill, you lose energy. And the buff for that is that when you lose energy, you get 50% on your normal charge plunge damage. So, it's really, really good. It is super, 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 super good. So, basically, you want to have energy in hand and never use your burst unless you absolutely have to, which is most of the time never. But when you use your E, you basically deal all your damage because all her normal attacks become pyro infused when you use her E. So yeah, it is a really, really good artifact set. It's her best artifact set if you run a DPS Yoimiya. As for constellations, I have her at C0. She doesn't need constellations to be good, which is a good thing because she is good for budget players. For Hu Tao, you basically need to have her C1 or bust. Yeah, C0 Hu Tao, you have to play her in a really weird way where you have to charge attack, jump cancels, and then you have to do normal attacks in between as well because you don't have enough stamina for charge attacks. For Yoimiya, she doesn't need C1 like Hu Tao, she just needs to be her. So yeah, you can just run her as C0 and she works right out of the box. It's extremely, extremely good. As for talents, I have her 886. Yes, you don't need to level this up. But since it is a silver talent up until level 6, I just leveled it up anyway for her to be minimally built. So yeah, 886. The main level up stat you want to level up first is definitely her E. Yeah, her E is really good. Same with her normal attacks. You want to level these two up. Don't level up the burst unless you absolutely want to run Yoimiya as a sub DPS. But E and normal is the way to go. So yeah, there you go. There is Yoimiya. She is an extremely, extremely good pyro DPS. And, well, I keep singing her praises, but I never showcased her. So, well, it's time to actually showcase her anyway. So, it's time to go to Spiral Abyss. Alright, so here we are in Floor 12 Spiral Abyss. So, the reason why I wanted to basically showcase the buff screen is because there is a lot of buffs here that benefit the whole team anyway. So, mainly the main purpose of these Spiral Abyss buffs is to basically help you with the Abyss. But I want to showcase Yoimiya in her raw stats. So, I'm going to be going for the HP. I know it affects a lot of characters who scale off of HP, like Yelan, Kokomi, Furina. Yeah, those characters that scale off of HP. But I literally have to because this literally buffs your damage by 20%. This buffs your attack by 40%. And this just increases your HP. So, of course, I'm going to be going for the HP. So, yeah. So, the first team I'm going to be showcasing here is one of Yoimiya's most commonly used teams. And that is the, well, Yoimiya Vaporize team. This is literally the premium team that she runs on. Literally probably one of the most commonly used teams. And I know you're going to say, Victini, why aren't you showcasing your roster this time? And that's because I don't have to. Because all of Yoimiya's teams don't feature the characters that I don't have. So yeah, it's pretty good. So basically, I don't have to showcase my roster because the teams I'm going to be showcasing Yoimiya on, I already have. So it's pretty cool. Well, without any further delay and without any further stalling, let's just get this started. So here it is, Mechanical Array. So Yoimiya gameplay is just normal attack. That's her main shtick, as you see here. Look at all the damage she's doing. Look at that, 50k on normal. 50k. Yeah, she's really good. Yunjin, of course, is probably one of the must-runs on a Yoimiya team because Yunjin buffs normal attack damage. And guess what Yoimiya's does the best? Normal attack damage. Yeah. It's a no-brainer to not run Yunjin on a team. Unless you have to run her on a specific team comp. Then, Yunjin probably might not be the best for your team comp of choice. But, mainly, it's always Yunjin. And then, Yunjin and then Yoimiya combos really well with each other. So, yeah. Always keep that in mind if you are gonna be, running Yunjin with Yoimiya. It's probably one of her best choices. So yeah, always keep that in mind. Alright, he dug himself underground. I think it's, yeah, there we go. We just basically defeated him. So now it's time to beat up the main body. There we go. Let's get the max amount of particles here for Yunjin. So Yunjin can get her, oh, never mind. I guess she can't. So I guess we'll just do normal attacks with Yoimiya then. Yeah, this is without buffs, by the way, besides Millilith. 13k off normal. It's not that bad. Alright, let's just pop everything off here. We already have Zhongli's shield up, so we can just do normal attacks here and get the max amount of damage possible. Right there, 31k, 37k. Yeah, these are not bad numbers. These are actually not bad numbers. I know my Yoimiya is kind of minimally built, but yeah, those are actually not that bad numbers. 50k per hit. That's really, really good. So yeah, there we go. There is the Yoimiya Vaporize team. Now it's time to showcase her free-to-play version of this team. So I will cut right back. Alright, so here we are with her second team, which is a free-to-play version of this team. So instead of opting for a double Geo setup, we opted for a double Pyro setup. So Yoimiya can get that attack boost off of the thing. So as you see here, she still does a lot of damage. Really, really good damage. The only sacrifice on the free-to-play team is that you don't have Zhongli's shield. But thankfully, you have one of the best healers, which is Bennett. And then you have one of the best buffers for Yoimiya, which is Yunjin. And then you have a, well, you already know how good Xingqiu is, so yeah. There's really nothing for me to say here other than it is a really good team to play. As you see here, there's a lot of Vaporize action going on right there. Alright. He's going on to his second phase. Alright, this is the main body. So I guess we'll just attack this guy. Alright. Let's do this. Let's get some normal attacks in with Yunjin buff. I see here with only Yunjin buff, it's like around 20k per hit. That's still really good. Alright. Our skill's on cooldown, so all we could do is just do normal base attacks. Alright, now we can use elemental skill and then see the damage. 41k, 50k. Yeah, see, it's pretty consistent onto what Yoimiya's damage is. As long as you, of course, balance your stats out properly, give her the right amount of support, and she's able to output numbers like that. So here is another demonstration. Again, here we go, 21k, 18k, 30k. Yeah, see 50k right there. Yeah, it's pretty. She's a pretty good DPS. I'll just say that. She's able to output numbers like that. So yeah, there we go. There is Yoimiya. Vaporize teams. Those are pretty good. Yep. But since there is a new horizon on a new type of team coming up, I will showcase that team. So, well, let's just showcase it. Alright, so here is the team I'm talking about. Yes, Overload has gotten a Surgeon thanks to our girl Chevras. So yeah, Chevras is here to basically buff Overload damage, which we are going to be doing after we cast the Kujosara skill. And then we just do our normal attacking damage. Yeah, but Raiden's skill is basically combos well with Yoimiya's, and that's because, well, every time you attack with Raiden, you basically deal a bunch of damage. And of course you want to do damage because, well, you need to beat up the opponents as fast as possible in Abysses anyway. So yeah. But as you see here, Chevras is healing us pretty well. The overload damage is also pretty good too. We're gonna be using this so we can use triple E thanks to C4. Alright. Okay, now we have to... Oh, that was a waste of an E though on Yoimiya. Yeah, that's a waste of an E. Alright, we're gonna be using Raiden Q so that we can quickly take this guy out. Alright, that should be done. Done and dusted. Alright. Alright, we're gonna be using that. We're gonna be using Kujosara buff, and then we'll just do some normal attacking damage. Yeah, 39k, 26k, 31k. Yeah, these are pretty consistent numbers on Yoimiya. She is able to do way more damage though if you do build her properly. So, of course, what I'm gonna say here is build her properly. Alright. Let's use her E, and then let's use her E again. Oh! I got hit there. That's pretty bad. Okay, I have to dodge this. There we go. Alright, we're about to be finishing up here, so let's just use Raiden to finish this off. Kablam! There we go. So yeah, Raiden could basically work as well as a second DPS, but mainly it is a Yoimiya-based team. So yeah, Overload is a extremely good reaction now, thanks to Chevras. So don't sleep on Chevras. She's actually pretty good. But yeah, well, anyways, it's time to actually showcase her on several other teams that I have on the backlog. So I will showcase those. Let's make some soup, shall we? This is Yoimiya soup. So yeah, of course we're going to be making soup. Why wouldn't we? So we're going to be casting for the water version of the Kazuha E. That's because we can get constant Vaporize reactions off of this, which is extremely good for Yoimiya because look at that. We could output numbers like that. But yeah, as you see here, even in soup, it's pretty good. Good AoE damage, but mainly Yoimiya is a single target damage dealer. So, I mean, it is kind of weird that we are running a soup team on a single target enemy. But as you see here, it still works pretty well. We're going to be using her E since we do have Kazuha buff on Q happening right now. Alright. Okay, we have to cast Toma and then use Kazuha. There we go. We can get that we can get that Viridescent buff for our Yoimiya. Alright. I hope Yoimiya doesn't die here because we are at really low HP. There we go. Alright, now we can just focus on the enemy at hand. Okay. Alright. We're going to be using Kazuha. And then cast his Q right here. And then we need to get Yelan's Q in. There we go. Alright. Now it's time to do some normal attacking madness. Alright, 20k, 20k. Yeah, this is mainly used for crowds. Yeah, this is just a crowd team. Kazuha soup. So yeah. It doesn't do that much damage on a single target enemy, but imagine it on a enemy that is just that has like multiple stuff. Yeah, as you see here, it is a pretty good team, but I'm using it on the wrong enemy, clearly. Alright. Okay, I think I gotta... Oh! That was pretty close. I just want Yoimiya to finish it off. There we go. Oh boy. So there we go. There is Kazuha soup or Yoimiya soup. You could call it whatever you want, but it's a soup team. So yeah. Well, now it's time to go on to the weirder teams. And yeah, we'll just close it off right there. Because Yoimiya doesn't have that much teams anyway. I'm just picking straws at this point. But I'll showcase 2 more teams, and then we can just go to the boss showcases. So yeah, well, here are 2 weird Yoimiya teams. Alright, here are the 2 weirder teams. I did kind of lie and said that there are 2 teams afterwards. That is a complete fat lie. Because there is actually 1 more team afterwards that I have to showcase, which is a fallen off team. So yeah, basically we have 3 more teams to go until we showcase her in bosses. So here is one of her teams, which is Burgeon. Burgeon is not that bad on a Yoimiya team. It's just that, well, Yoimiya is single target, so she can't activate Burgeon on AoE. So yeah, it is a really weird team comp that you can run. You can run Burning as well, which is the next team comp I am going to be showcasing. Spoiler alert. But Burning is not that bad on Yoimiya because, well, it's passive damage. So passive damage is really good. Alright, we're going to be tagging here. I think... No, he's not on his other face, so that's a good thing. Alright. He's gonna be doing his big attack. We can just do this. Get some invincibility frames in. Alright. Okay. We can just tag everyone here. There we go. And then let's just attack. I forgot to tag this guy. Alright. Let's use normal attacks here. Thankfully, Toma's shield is pretty tanky, so he can take a lot of damage right here. We are close, though, to defeating this guy. Let's just clutch it up. There we go. Alright. Let's cast this. Let's tag. I think, yeah, there we go. And then now we can just do Yoimiya normal attacks to finish the job. There we go. There is Yoimiya Burgeon. Yeah, it's kind of a weird, wacky comp, which is why I said this is the weird teams. So yeah. Well, there is 1 more weird team I have to showcase before we showcase the final team. So I will see you guys then. Alright, so here is another weird team, or the last weird team I will showcase, which is Burning. Yes, she actually works kind of well on Burning because Burning is, well, passive damage. So the more damage, the better, right? I know it's one of the weaker reactions in the game, but Burning is still kind of good. I mean, you are doing damage, so the more damage you do, the faster your Abyss run goes, right? So yeah, again, people might say that it is kind of bad that why would you run Burning instead of Burgeon, but it's still a pretty decent team if you don't have anything else to run. So yeah, as you see there, we get passive, I think, 500 damage. And it's rapid too, so it's rapid damage. I just hope that in the future there might be some enemy, or there might be like some character, future impact by the way, where there is a buff to Burning teams, just like how Chevra's is a buff to Overload teams. So yeah. Well, that is future impact though, so I guess only time will tell at this point that if Burning will ever get a good buff someday or not. But as of right now, Burning is kind of a really bad team, to be honest, but it can still get the job done. That's all I'm gonna say. Alright, I think we're about to get our burst right here, and then we could just do Yoimiya E. Yeah. As you see there, we are basically burning this thing up. We're getting passive 1000 per second, I think. So yeah, it's really good passive damage. But again, there are better teams you can run, so yeah. Alright, we have to avoid that. Let's put Guoba down, and then we can just do some E shenaniganery right here. Get some base Yoimiya attack. As you see here, her damage is not that bad, even without buffs like double pyro. Well, I mean, she does have double pyro on this team, but you get what I mean. She doesn't have Furina buff or anything else like that. So yeah. Alright. Let's get this off right here. And I think we should be fine. Yeah, there we go. Nice! Alright, so there we go. There is, there's the team right there, burning. Now it's time to showcase one final team. You probably already know what it is because I haven't showcased her yet. So anyways, let's just cut to that. Alright, so here is a Yoimiya Melt team featuring Furina. Yes, this will be the last team we're going to be showcasing before we head on to the bosses. And I know you might be thinking, why showcase 2 teams in one team? Well, and that's because no one uses Melt anymore on Yoimiya. So might as well give it a Furina flair. So yeah, as you see here, she's able to do some melt damage and vaporize at the same time. Yeah, that's the reason why I ran this team. It's because she gets all the buffs. And then basically we could heal ourselves with Diona. And I haven't dusted Diona and Layla in a long time. So this is an extremely good showcase to what these characters are capable of. Let's use Burst and then Elemental Skill. And then let's recast those and then deal a bunch of mixed elemental damage. But yeah, as you see here, really good damage. Like, you can see it yourself, right? Like, we're doing a bunch of damage. It's really good. We have Layla's shield so we don't get hit. Yeah, it is a really good team to run. And it's also... I don't think anyone has ever ran this team before. So, yeah, I think this is the first time like, I'm running a team like this. So, yeah. Well... Anyways, let's burst this guy down. Again, I haven't mentioned it before, but Diona's C6. So when we stand on her Q, we get 200 Elemental Mastery for free because we are basically above 50% HP. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, there is your last wacky team, which is a, well, Yoimiya Melt with Furina. So yeah, that's basically it. So now it's time to showcase her in bosses. She is from Inazuma. So we have to showcase her in Inazuma bosses. And you know what that means, right? We have to fight Raiden twice. So yeah, I hope you guys are ready for that. But yeah, without any further ado, let's just cut to the Signora boss. Alright, so here we are in the Signora domain. Alright, so what team I'm going to be running on this domain? Well, I can't run Pyro because Signora's second phase is Pyro. So we have to run a Vaporize team, of course. So we're going to be running the usual. So we're just going to be running Zhongli and then Yunjin, if I could find Yunjin. And then we could put Yelan. Yeah. We are going to be taking a ton of damage here, so we can just use food. I'm just here to basically showcase what Yoimiya can do on bosses. It's not about, well, if I could beat Signora without any food. It's just to showcase if Yoimiya is capable of defeating Signora. So yeah. Well, anyways, enough about me blabbling on. Let's just get this started. So let's get these buffs up and let's get some Yoimiya normal attacks in. We are in the freeze state though, so we are going to be attacking slower than usual. We are taking damage though, so yeah, let's just back away here. Alright, since we do have a Pyro character with us, we could actually start normal attacking, like, well, normal, and then start destroying the ice. As you see here, I'm still doing damage to the ice, so we could just spam this and then grab some moths along the way to speed this up. Yeah, I think we need one more moth now. If it could spawn, there we go. Let's take it, and then kablam. There we go. So now here is Signora's Pyro phase. We aren't going to be doing that much damage with Yoimiya because she has Pyro res, or Pyro resistance, since she is a Pyro enemy herself. So Yelan's going to be doing the bulk of the damage. But yeah, as you see here, 10k, 22k. Yeah, even in her Pyro phase, she's still able to do at least some damage. So let's just back away for a bit so we can go near the thing. There we go. Alright, let's get some Yunjin stuff up. Yeah, Yunjin doesn't have that much ER. I wish she did, but I think she's at 200 and she still kind of struggles to get her particles back. Yeah, it's just typical Yunjin problem. So yeah. Well, anyways, now we just have to wait until Signora is done with her attacks. So, well, we just have to dodge like a couple times, and then we should be good. I think she's about to finish up. Is she? Yeah, she's about to finish up. All right, now let's rush her and deal as much damage as we can. All right. Everything is up now, so we can just do normal attacks. But she does constantly love to teleport a lot. This should be it, right here. Yeah, there it is. Nice. So yeah, there is Yoimiya in the Signora fight. Again, despite having the Pyro Rush, she's still able to do some damage to her. So yeah, it's as you see here, Yoimiya is actually pretty good DPS. Who would have thought? Well, anyways, now it's time to cut to Raiden Shogun. So let's just go there. Alright, so here we are in the Raiden domain. So the team that I want to be testing out here is, of course, the Chevra's Overload team. Because we still have to actually test out Chevra's to see if she's good or not. And so far, she's actually pretty good on an Overload team. So I want to be doing more testing with her. And besides, I want to use her a lot anyway. So yeah, here is another Chevra's showcase. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so here we go. Let's fight off Raiden. So Chevra's is going to be our main healer, of course. She does passive healing when you use her E, so it's pretty good. If we do get hit, we can still heal ourselves. As you see here, she's healing us right now. Let's get all our bursts up right here. Let's get Raiden to break that shield right there. Alright. Get to do this. Alright. I think we have to wait. Yeah, there we go. Let's use our E again. We do have Sack Bow, so we can basically get the buff back. Alright, let's do this. So we can get double or triple E. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Alright. Let's get some Yoimiya normal attacks in. Let's destroy this so we don't get hurt. Yeah, there we go. The only sad thing is that I don't think Chevra's can heal AoE, I'm pretty sure. I wish she did. Yeah, we have to avoid— oh, we got hit anyway. And we got hit there too. Okay. Okay, we gotta do at least some— oh! We are getting hit a lot. That's the bad thing about an Overload team. You don't get any shields, by the way. I guess you could run Toma to not get hit by a shield, but this is technically our best effort right here. Alright, we are healing passively though, so that's good. Alright, we gotta use your E. There we go. And then let's wait. Alright, we're gonna be shooting her right here. Get some more passive healing in. We have to stay on her though, because she needs to be healed. Same with Kujo. We guess we could just go on Kujo. Let's wait a bit. Let's get herself fully healed. There we go. Alright, we're in this phase now, so we can just do normal. We can do some normal attacks while we jump. So we can land 2 at least. There we go. And then we gotta jump. We gotta jump right here, and then we have to dash dump. There we go. Alright. We gotta avoid this right here. Okay. I think she's almost done with her phase. Just have to get her shield down a little bit more. There we go. She's done. Alright. Now we have to cast like a bajillion of our skills. Alright. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3. That's her full passive. And now we can just do normal attacks. Yeah, 34k, 41k. Yeah, as you see here, Chevra's is actually pretty good. As long as you build her with a lot of HP, she's able to basically help the team out and output numbers like that. So yeah. Alright. Okay, we're gonna do something crazy here and use Yoimiya's burst because we never used it before. And we'll just do some normal attacks right here. We get some overload damage right off the bat too. Alright, I think she's about to be— oh! Alright, let's do Chevra's and then let's do triple E. So 1, 2, 3. Alright. Let's get Raiden in. And then let's use Yoimiya to finish the job, and there we go! There it is! So, yeah, as you see here, Yoimiya works pretty well on Overload against Raiden. Even though we did have some hiccups, we did not use any food, thanks to Chevrolet's healing. So, yeah. I just wish that Chevrolet's healing is more AoE instead of single target. But Chevrolet, as you see there, is still pretty good. So, yeah. Definitely a worthwhile team to use if you want to run a really niche team like Overload. So, yeah. Well, anyways, now it's time to actually showcase her max damage output. So I will cut back to the Raiden domain and showcase a different team. Alright, so here we are in the Raiden domain again. So, basically, I'm gonna be showcasing Yoimiya's normal attack damage, yes. She doesn't have a big damage skill like her Q or her E. Like, basically, well, I could give examples like Hu Tao Q, or Diluc Q, or Furina Craboletta. Yeah, you get what I mean by, the best single damage output. But Yoimiya here is good on normal attacks, and that is all she's good at. So, this is more of a showcase on how much her normal attack damage does. So basically, this is kind of a quote-unquote max damage showcase, but it kind of isn't. Because Yoimiya, well, she does a string of normals, and that'll probably be her best damage. So yeah. Well, anyways, it's time to explain the team I have. So we have Yoimiya here, who is the main DPS, as you see here, with these types of stats, with her weapon Thundering Pulse, with a Shiminawa set, with level 8 talents. So yeah, she is basically kind of minimally built, but she is still ready to deal a bunch of damage. And we have Zhongli here for one thing and one thing alone, and that is the Tenacity of the Millilith set. So yeah, that is why he's on the team. As for Furina, we have her with, well, Tranquil Waters, with a Golden Troop set, with C2, and then we have a level 10 talent on her burst, which basically buffs the damage we do. So yeah. And then last but not least, we have Bennett right here, who has a high base attack weapon, with C1, with Noblesse, and with level 13 talent on his burst. And last but not least, we have the Pyro Resonance buff, which gives us 25% attack. So yeah, we are basically born ready to take down Raiden as soon as possible. So I'm going to be trying to go for the 1-round kill, even if we don't have all our buffs up. So yeah, so we're going to be going for Furina, and we're going to be basically rushing her down as fast as possible, because that is what Yoimiya is best at, just dealing a bunch of damage. Yeah, see here, 29k, 35k. I don't think this is her max passive too, or max Furina passive. All right, let's get burst in. Yeah, we're gonna be again. We're gonna be trying to burst her down as fast as possible. All right, let's attack this. There we go, and then let's just deal a bunch of damage right here. All right. It'll be very soon until we cast another skill right there, so that's good. I didn't miss Bennett E. That sucks. I won't be taking as much damage here because of Zhongli's shield, so yeah, that's good. We are close though. We're close to taking her down. Oh, never mind. I guess we died. It doesn't matter though, because we can just get our stuff back. Okay. We had to heal there because, well, all our characters are down. Alright, let's get some Bennett burst action in. Alright, let's use Yoimiya skill and then take down at least some of Raiden's shield. We won't be dealing as much damage though, which sucks. But I'll probably do it at the final phase of her attack. Alright. Okay, we gotta use E and then do some normal attacks. Come on, Yoimiya! There we go. We did it in time, thankfully. Alright. We dodged that. Okay, we have to cast Furina's skill right here. We have to. Alright. So we have to do some normal attacks. Let's get the shield down. Alright, I think this will give us Furina buff. Yeah. This should be enough. I hope. Enough to get all our HPs down so we could just spam heal. Do this. and then do normal. Come on, Yoimiya, do normals. There we go. Okay, but what I mean by that is that she's able to do at least some damage to Raiden, as you see there. But yeah, we haven't taken her down fully, but it was still around 75% of her HP, so that's fine. I guess I'll take that damage showcase regardless. But yeah, but if you want to actually see Yoimiya true damage and what she is capable of, I suggest looking at the Furina showcase video, which I will pop in the end card of the video. So if you want to see Yoimiya's true damage, because this segment did not do her justice, look at the Furina showcase video against the Scaramouche boss. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, well, anyways, now it's time to actually just go to her overview and final thoughts. So we'll just cut to that. So here is Yoimiya, the owner of Naganohara Fireworks, aka the queen of the festival. So yeah, well, of course, I will be talking about her talents, her constellations, and give my final thoughts on her. So here we go. So here is Yoimiya in the flesh. So we have her normal attack, flare up, which basically does 5 consecutive shots. And I will say this, it is really, really fast. Also, she does have a level 2 charge attack, by the way, similar to Ganyu and Tainari. No one uses this. I'm just gonna say that. No one uses this. Unless you are fighting a big enemy or if you need to shoot down a weak spot on a robot or something. You'll never ever use a level 2 charge on Yoimiya because her whole kit is literally just normal attacks. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that there is a level 2 charge on her normal attack. As for elemental skill, Niwabi Fire Dance, when you use her E, basically all your normal attacks become, well, pyro damage. That's basically it. When you use your E, by the way, you don't get your level 2 charge attack, which is fine because you'll never do it anyway. So yeah, Niwabi Fire Dance is her bread and butter. When you use her E, as you see here, your normal attack damage arrows will do a lot of damage. And of course, you want to level up your normal attack ratios on top of Niwabi Fire Dance. So yeah, it is a really, really good skill. Her bread and butter, basically, on her pyro damage. And then her elemental burst, Ryukin Sax-E Farage, which basically does AoE pyro damage. And when you use a attack on a targeted enemy, basically when they are marked with the firework, the blaze will deal AoE pyro damage. So yes, this is actually a sub DPS burst, but no one uses it because it directly counteracts her Shiminawa set. So yeah, you want to basically have energy at hand anyway and never use it on your burst, because if you use it on your burst, well, you can't activate the Shiminawa passive where you need to burn through 15 energy to increase your normal and charge attack damage by, well, 50%, which is a extremely high number. So yeah, you want to basically level these two up. Don't level this up unless you actually want to use Yoimiya as a sub DPS. So yeah. As for passive talents, we have Tricks of the Troublemaker. So when you are in this state on her E, you basically get 2% pyro damage bonus on hit, and you get 10 stacks of it, meaning that you get 20% pyro damage bonus every normal attack you hit, which is gonna be a lot because her normal attack speed is really, really fast, even if you are affected by cryo, by the way. So yeah, you are gonna be getting this constantly to get the 20% on pyro damage. It is really, really good. And Jean, by the way, if you run Jean with Yoimiya, will basically increase it even further, and you can get the 20% pyro damage bonus a lot, which is really, really good. Yeah, so keep that in mind. As for her other passive talent, Summer Night's Dawn. So when you use a Q, you basically get a 10% increased attack, and you also get attack bonus for each stack on her Q, which is okay, I guess. But it's kind of bad because, again, you won't be using her Q unless you absolutely have to, because Shiminawas exist. So yeah, I will say this though, it is pretty good if you are running Yoimiya as a sub, but since she is, well, her main role is DPS, this is kind of a useless passive talent. So mainly the main takeaway is that this passive talent is good. This passive talent is only good if you run Yoimiya as a sub DPS. And as for her overworld passive talent, we have Blazing Match, which basically, when she crafts on a teapot decoration, she has a 100% chance to refund the materials used, which is pretty good. You get materials back when you craft stuff on your teapot. And I know there is a new teapot set, as well as new teapot items as well. So Yoimiya is there to help if you are crafting landscape stuff. So it's pretty good. And now it's time for her constellations. Her constellations are okay, I guess. I will say this. So yeah. So we have Constellation 1, which is Agate Ryuken, which basically Ryuken Sakufurage, which is her Q, lasts for an extra 4 seconds. And then when you are affected by the blaze, which is the firework that tags when you use Yoimiya's Q, Yoimiya's attack will increase by 20%. So this actually changes her game plan a bit. So now you actually want to use Q to increase your attack further. So, but again, I will say this, it affects Shiminawa's, so be careful when you use this constellation. Is it worth it to get the 20% attack? Or do you just want to cast your E and get the 50% on your normal attack damage? Yeah, it is a really weird trade-off. I'm just gonna say that. So, her Constellation 2, a procession of bonfires. When Yoimiya's pyro damage scores a critical hit, which, well, is all the time, you will get 25% pyro damage for 6 seconds. It's really good. And also, it can be triggered when she is not on the field too. So yeah, it is really good. So, what they mean by off-field, they mean by her Q. So you can crit off her Q and she still gets the pyro damage bonus. Again, I guess these constellations are just good for sub DPS Yoimiya. So I guess if you want to build her as a sub, then here you go. As for level 3 talent, Trickster's Flare, it increases her E's level by 3. For her Constellation 4, we have Pyrotechnic Professional. So when you have Auras Ablaze and it triggers an explosion, Niwabi's Fire Dance cooldown will be decreased by 1.2 seconds. Again, this is good if you want to use Yoimiya as a sub, because when you use her as a sub, you can just get her E back and then you do a couple normals. So yeah, that's basically it. Constellation 5 will basically increase the Q by 3 levels. And here we have the most, well, controversial constellation. C6, Naganohara Meteor Swarm. So, during Niwabi Fire Dance, Yoimiya's normal attacks have a 50% chance of firing an extra blazing arrow that deals 60% of its original damage. This damage is considered normal attack damage. So, why is this constellation really controversial? It's her fall-off damage. Yeah. So, you can screw yourself over on Vaporize. Yes, you could screw yourself over with Vaporize damage, melt damage, basically any damage you want to deal with Yoimiya. This will screw it over. So yeah, if you want to deal the max amount of damage possible, you basically, people will say to have her C5 and forget about C6. Because C6 kind of screws her damage over. So yeah, and plus it deals 60% of its original. So if you do, well, if you land the original, and then you get a Vaporize, or if you get a wet reaction, and then you get the blazing arrow that hits it instead, there goes your damage on your actual normal attack. So yeah, it is really detrimental to Yoimiya's damage. So this is, well, it's really controversial whether you should C6 her or not. In my opinion, if you want her to do the max amount of damage possible, get her C5, because this basically kind of screws you over anyway because of the 60% of its original damage. So if you do trigger Vaporize on the extra blazing arrow, there goes your damage. So yeah, I will say it is a pretty complicated topic as to what the constellation is about. Everyone saw this coming. Naganohara Meteor Swarm is probably one of the most controversial constellations ever on Yoimiya, because people will still fight over whether you should C6 Yoimiya or not C6 Yoimiya. In my opinion, though, you don't have to C6 her. You only C6 her if you want to be, well, interested on this, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot of videos out there to showcase what C6 Yoimiya is like. So, yeah, take a look at those videos and then see if it is worth it to C6 her. But in my opinion, don't, because it screws her damage over. But again, at the end of the day, it's your decision whether if you want to C6 her or not. But basically, that is it for the Yoimiya showcase video. So, what are my final thoughts on her? She's still pretty good to this very day. I mean, I know there's Hu Tao, Linny, those two Pyro characters that basically do a bajillion damage, and they're probably one of the best Pyro characters in the game. But we have Yoimiya. Yoimiya is still a really good character. I mean, I showcased her. You saw the damage, right? She is consistent on her damage. So yeah, Yoimiya is actually pretty good. Unless you want to run jungling, then I guess you could just run DPS jungling. But Yoimiya, if you are desperate for a Pyro DPS, she does fill the role pretty well. And as you see there, on the showcase and every single team she is featured on, she does have some flexibility on teams. And again, she's on a premier team, which is Overload. So yeah, you could just run Overload Yoimiya and then, well, wreak havoc. So yeah. Well, anyways, that is it for the Yoimiya showcase video. If you like the showcase video, make sure to leave a like down below. Any amount of support is greatly appreciated. Tells me that you guys want to see more content like this. Also, if you are new to the channel and if you enjoy my content, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to not miss out on a single upload that I do if you do subscribe. Because I upload inconsistently, but I do upload once a week. So having the notification bell on will tell you when my uploads will upload. Also, comment down below, what do you think of Yoimiya? You think she's good? You think she's bad? What is your opinion about C6 Yoimiya? Because it is a pretty complicated topic. You think it's worth it to C6 her? You think it's not worth it to C6 her? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching this Genshin showcase video. And I'll see you guys in the next Genshin video.